All right, baskets are assembled. Let's see what we can get out of the garden today. It's August, which is the biggest harvest month of the year for me. Sometimes it's September, but September and August are both really fruitful in the garden, and it's extra important to have a daily harvest routine because there are a lot of things that you can either miss if you wait a day too long. Sometimes you will see that there's pest pressure, and if you even miss just one day of harvesting, that beautiful tomato can end up with a bunch of holes in it. And then harvesting regularly also helps you to make sure that your plants stay productive, because a lot of plants are actually stimulated to continue trying to produce if you go ahead and pick all the fruit off of them before they're like fully done, fully mature. And beans, tomatoes, peppers, they're all really good examples of this. So today we are going to go through my jungle of a garden, and I'm going to show you everything that I'm harvesting on a daily basis right now. Also, check out these butterflies. They're everywhere in the garden in August. All right, so first things first are going to be my purple pole beans. So these are actually the blue cocoa variety of beans, and while I am still coming through even in August and picking fresh ones that are perfect for eating, I've also been leaving a lot of them, and now it's time to come through and pick all of the dried pods off of here. So these are going to be good for dried beans, and you can actually see if I open it up, we've got our little dried beans in there. These are going to be really good for chili later in the winter, but the incredible thing about this plant is that I'm able to get both of these off at once. Remember how I said earlier, continuing to pick from your plants is what is going to continue to stimulate them to make more fruit. And with beans, the fact that I'm able to leave these on and let these fully mature and then have the plant still making fresh, tender, new beans is really, really awesome. So I absolutely love that about this plant, on top of the fact that it is so productive. Even if you never want the dried beans from it, you can absolutely just keep harvesting fresh beans probably every single day for the entire summer season. So the beans are always a part of my daily harvest routine because, one, I want to catch all the fresh ones that are like perfect for eating, but two, these ones that I leave, you can see it's getting a little bit moldy, right? I do live in a very humid climate, so if I don't come through every day and get these dried beans off as soon as they're ready, then I end up with a lot of fuzzy, inedible beans, and that's really sad. All right, so I've picked some fresh beans for dinner tonight, and then I've picked all of the dried beans that I could find. So normally in August, part of my daily harvest routine would be harvesting tomatoes, and normally there would be a lot right now, but because we had about a month and a half of temperatures where it was regularly getting above 90, sometimes into the 100s of degrees Fahrenheit, the tomatoes spent a lot of time not setting any fruit. So they were flowering, but they were dropping their flowers because of the heat. And so now I have a big gap in my harvesting. So I am just now starting to see like flowers and fruits starting to set. I have little baby green tomatoes. So hopefully in like another month or so, I will be harvesting tomatoes again. But this is a decision that I can make because I live in a long season climate. A lot of you, if the same thing happened to you, you might not actually have enough time for your tomatoes to mature. They take a lot longer from flower to ripe tomato than you expect. I'm always like jumping the gun. I'm like, oh, they'll be ready next week, and then it's like 3 more weeks. So if I lived somewhere where my season was coming to an end and I knew it was going to get cold soon, I would probably be ripping these tomatoes out and actually putting something else in here that can use the space, because I would not be able to get another full harvest off of these, even though it might look like I would. So yeah, I've got all these little babies, and I could see it easily being like a month before I am harvesting these tomatoes, unfortunately. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do while I'm back here is come harvest some more holy basil. I need to make some more tea for the week. During the summer, I always keep some holy basil tea stocked up. Usually it's holy basil and hibiscus. I have that recipe on my channel if you're interested. But yeah, I'm just going to come through here and cut basically a very large handful of tops off of this plant. This is gonna be a great harvest, one, but it's also going to help the plant actually continue to split and get bigger. If you, let me cut this and show you. If you look at a basil plant, you can see that it has these little splits naturally along the stem. And so every time you cut above one of those splits, you're actually making 2 new branches. So you can think of your basil like a hydra. The more you cut, the more you get. All right, I've just grabbed a fresh basket and we are going to now go down this second row. This is peppers and eggplant. So at the front here, I have all of my hot peppers. These ones are my Sugar Rush Peach in particular. This one's not quite ready yet. Let's see if there's anything hiding. Oh yeah, this one's ready. So they turn this beautiful peach color when they're ready. You can see next to this one how different that is. And so I'm just going to come through and try and pull all of the hot peppers that are ready. So the thing that I'm going to do with most of these hot peppers is I am going to dry them, and they are either going to become some sort of pepper powder, or I will make them into some sort of hot sauce. These ones right here that I'm harvesting are gochujangs, and so I'm actually going to try and make a gochujang sauce this year for the first time. But yeah, the vast majority of these are they're just going to be like a standard pepper powder, and then a few of them get frozen and pulled out whenever I need a fresh hot pepper to chop up into like a curry or something. Peppers are the same as tomatoes in that if you pick them when they have started blushing, so they've started changing color just a little bit, they will continue to ripen indoors on the counter for you. So if you are super worried about pest pressure, then you can absolutely pick all of your peppers and tomatoes a little bit early and bring them in to ripen inside. However, I find that with hot peppers specifically, they do a pretty good job defending themselves. I think that is what capsaicin is actually for. And so I will usually leave these to ripen fully on the plant, and I don't usually have too many issues. As we're going through here, we are also checking on eggplant. This one is looking pretty good. These I check on pretty much every day because they grow pretty fast and they get to the point of harvest and then beyond harvest pretty fast. So you want to catch them at just about the right time. And this one is ready, so I'm gonna go get my clippers. Eggplants are one of those things that are pretty tricky to tell when it is ready to harvest, especially if you've never grown them before, because they don't exactly change color when they're done. Some of them kind of sort of do, but in general there's not going to be a really noticeable difference. And so one of the things you have to kind of be aware of is that is how big they are supposed to get. So we can take a look in here at one that I know is definitely not ready, and you can see kind of the size difference here between the two. So I know that these are supposed to get to be about this big, and then I start watching them and see, okay, are they still growing or are they staying the same? And if they're staying the same, then I go ahead and pull them. With eggplant, it's better to be underripe than overripe, because if you wait a little bit too long, then it's going to start making seeds and the texture's not going to be as good. But if you get them underripe, then all you're kind of missing out on is a little bit of extra growth, and they're fully edible from like little babies all the way up to full size. So underripe doesn't matter really at all with eggplant. And while we're here, I want to give you kind of an unorthodox harvesting tip, which is to get underneath your plants. So the number of times that I have felt like I fully harvested everything that I could, and then I ducked down and looked underneath the leaves and found some stuff hiding, it's too many to count. So don't be afraid to duck under your plants and look. We are now moving on to take a look at the sweet peppers, the bell peppers, and these I would love to let them ripen fully on the vine, but I've got pests apparently. So these I am going to be harvesting early and bringing inside to finish ripening. Oh my god, it is still so hot out here. Holy cow. Let's get these off the plant and into the shade. Whew, I'm already getting all sweaty. But a fun fact, if you are a new gardener, you might not know this, but green bell pepper and red bell pepper come from the same plant. So actually you could pick this green or you could wait for it to turn red. And like both ways it's good, but obviously the flavor's a little different, right? As it gets redder, it will get sweeter. And that's generally true of most peppers, but you do not need two separate plants if you want green and red bell peppers. My phone also said it is too stinking hot out here, so we went inside. We had a little air conditioning break, put my hair up, and now we are time to tackle the trellises. Here we have the noodle beans. Noodle beans get the same treatment as the other pole beans, so I'm coming through and sometimes picking them at this stage when they are nice and edible. And then sometimes I'm coming through and looking for ones that are all full of dried beans. This one is not quite dried out yet, but it is getting really wrinkly and it is just about ready. Aw, Draco came outside to join me. I don't know how they stand the heat with their black fur, but they're out here every day. The only dried one I could find is this one here. And so this is this is my one harvest from this section, but it's good we checked because you can see that bit that was touching the ground right there starting to rot away. Now we move on to the cucumber trellis, and I think I see one right here. Oh, with a baby as well. This one, it's very, very close to the right size. I could pick it now. I think if I wait until tomorrow morning, it will be just about the right size. These cucumbers have been getting pretty big for me, actually. Oh, look, you can see another little one up there. And we've got these two here. Cucumbers grow so fast, so definitely checking on these every day is a must. I also need to come through and check on my teeny tiny little they're not cucamelons, but they are cucamelon adjacent. This is like essentially a perennial variety. Here's one. Here we go. Aren't they so cute? These are really great as fresh garden snacks. Oh, here's some more up here. Whoa. Really great as fresh garden snacks. I am going to try pickling them, but I haven't actually tasted that yet. And then I also think they would be really good kind of muddled into mixed drinks. I don't know if these ones are actually going to make it inside. They are the perfect little garden snack. Now we're back here checking on the peanuts and the corn, and also more beans. Let's look through here. So I have right here, these are my pigeon peas. They are not making beans yet, but I do keep checking. And then I have my southern peas. These have been making beans, and I've actually been getting some dried pods off of these as well. So I like to come through for all the same reasons and check for the dried mature pods. A lot of them are kind of growing in here mixed with the corn, which makes them kind of hard to find. But while we're here, we're also checking on the corn. This is another popcorn variety, so we are waiting for the husks to turn a nice brown color before we harvest. These ones are still just a little green. Like I said earlier, even if I'm not actively harvesting this stuff every day, it is still important to check on it, because these things that need to dry outside before they're picked can very easily mold if I don't pick them soon enough after they have finished drying. So that's why we're doing this. Here's what those pods look like when they're all dried out. They also turn brown, which you can see matches the color of the brown leaves of the corn perfectly. So I know I'm not going to get all of these, but I am going to do my best. Oh my goodness, look what I just found. Look at that praying mantis. He's huge. Those claws. Thank you for your service, sir. These guys are big predators in the garden, and so he's keeping my corn pest-free. If you want to learn more about what all the different insects in your garden are even doing there, then check out the video I'll have linked in the description, where I go over literally all the different types of insects you can find in your garden. And you know what? By the end of it, you might actually learn to love some of them. And this is what we got today. We've got our beans, our little cucumber things, holy basil, my single southern bean, my single noodle bean, and then all of the sweet and hot peppers in here. So in the comments below, I would absolutely love to hear about what you guys are harvesting in your gardens in August, and maybe what your daily routine really looks like, because I know it varies a lot from garden to garden, and we can all learn from each other. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy gardening.